The Falconer, Last Epoch. Good day, YouTube bunnies. My name is Soxy Rabbit, and I am a fantasy and dark fantasy streamer over on Twitch, as well as a game reviewer here on YouTube. You can find all my links below. The Falconer, the final mastery of the rogue class, has just been revealed on the Maxroll website. So without further ado, we will be taking a look at what Maxroll has covered and discussing the skills, passives, and a few potential builds. If you would like to see all of this in further detail, links are below. I will not be explaining what Last Epoch is, as I hope that most of you watching are already anticipating the launch 1.0 on the 21st of February, but I did cover the absolute basics in my last video, Soxy Rabbit Reacts to the new Warlock, if you would like to learn more. For those of you who have not tried out the rogue yet, she is a master with a blade and bow, utilizing the shadows to her advantage. The three masteries are Blade Dancer, a master of the blade, dodging and dashing through the shadows to strike her next victim. Marksman, a pro with a bow, who has an array of arrow-piercing attacks. And finally, the Falconer, which we will be checking out now. Oh, damn that ass. Just kidding. The Falconer's specialized skills include not only deceptive traps and decoys, but your beautiful bird of prey, the falcon. Your first passive skill is Falconry, which summons a fierce and invulnerable falcon, which fights at your side and heeds your commands. You then have the ability to command your bird of prey in 3 different unique ways. The first is Falcon Strikes, where your falcon darts around the battlefield, attacking nearby enemies in a blur of savage strikes. The second, Aerial Assault, is as you leap forward, your falcon dives to catch you, carrying you further. After dropping you off, your falcon leashes a storm of feathers, slicing and dicing enemies around you. Lastly is Dive Bomb, where your falcon shoots high into the air, then comes plummeting back down, smashing your enemies in a large area. Your decoy and trap skills are Net, which flips you backwards, throwing a net to slow or immobilize your foes. Once netted, enemies are easy prey for your avian ally. An Explosive Trap, which places a trap on the ground that, when triggered, devastates the area with explosive fire. The longer your trap is deployed, the more powerful the explosion. Now, personally, looking at the passive tree for the Falconer, I think dexterity is going to be so important. And here is why. Firstly, as a blanket passive bonus, you receive plus 12 dexterity and plus 1 falcon melee damage per 4 dex. At this point, if you're wondering, this is only plus 3 melee damage, it doesn't seem worth it, then you would be correct. But there are a good couple of nodes in the passive tree to enhance this. Numero uno, you have Agile Hunt, which pops on plus 8 dex, and for a 5-point bonus, your falcon deals plus 1 additional throwing damage per 4 dex. Next, we have Evasion Tactics, which not only has 12% increased armor and dodge rating, but plus 6 dexterity, bringing us up to a whopping plus 26, and with Steady Hand from the Rogue passive tree, that makes it plus 34, bringing us up to plus 9 melee damage and plus 9 throwing damage applied to your falcon. Still not satisfied? Relentless Talents not only increases yours and your minions' damage by 30%, but for only a 3-point bonus, a portion of your falcon's damage is leached as health per point of dexterity. Then, in the same cluster, we have Stymphalian Feathers, which adds plus 6 armor per 2 dexterity. And further, for a 4-point bonus, you receive 2% increased armor for each time your falcon has hit an enemy recently. So to summarize, not only will dexterity increase your damage and your minions, but it has a life regen perk and an armor increase. Moving on to some other interesting nodes, we have Blast Radius, which is a useful perk if you are running any build that employs your traps and decoys. This node enlarges the area that your skills deal damage in, and for a 3-point bonus, you gain mana whenever either your trap or decoy detonates. Boom! Mana gains. Another small cluster that works well together is needle-like precision and finesse them, as the former increases crit chance for you and your minion, i.e. Falcon, and has a critical multiplier, while the latter gains you health of plus 21 on critical hits, applies critical hit avoidance of plus 35%, and for a 5-point bonus, your minions gain additional critical strike multiplier per 2% of your uncapped critical strike avoidance. As this is the Falconer, who isn't going to create a build that harnesses your birdie friend? So we'll be focusing on the 3 skill trees that surround this: Falconry, which includes the Falcon Strike, Aerial Assault, and Dive Bomb. We're going to consider the basic starting points for 2 different types of builds using these 3 skills, incorporating past skills, of course. The first is acid-based and the second is a shadow-based build. Studying the Falconry skill tree, you have a nice cluster off to the top left-hand corner that allows for your Falcon to do acid damage. Toxic Airdrop causes your Falcon to throw acid flasks for you, while Parrotkin grants your bird extra flasks when you use one. Adding to this, Marking Strikes inflicts Falconer's mark from the Falcon's other hits, with Avian Arsenal, Wake of Wings, and Falcon's Gale consuming stacks of Falconer's mark to proc buffs. Avian Arsenal procs a buff that adds melee damage to your Falcon. Wake of Wings grants increased movement speed, attack, and cast speed, while Falcon's Gale procs an instant Falcon Strike recovery cooldown. Aerial Assault also has the opportunity for some acidic fun. Branching off from Featherstorm, which extends the duration that your Falcon does damage for you after Wing Burst, you can feed either down to Patui, which converts Featherstorm's base physical damage to poison, which scales with increase to poison damage, and you can go up to Shaded Wingspan, which causes Aerial Assault to create a Shadow Falcon that releases Featherstorm as well when a boss or rare enemy is nearby. Speaking of Shadow Falcons, Dive Bomb has a riveting cluster in the bottom right that takes advantage of any shadow skills you have already employed from the Rogue skill set. On Wings of Shadow causes Dive Bomb to create a Shadow Falcon that strikes the location of your own shadows. The number of Shadow Falcons cannot exceed the number of your own shadows. So to implement this properly, remember to make a mass of them. Birds aren't real, then allows for your Falcon to continue fighting while a shadow version takes its place to execute Dive Bomb. Flock of Crows, Midnight Aviary, and Dancing Shadows all enhance or slightly alter the skill to suit your needs. Whether you'd like to focus more on your feathery friend or play sneakily through the shadows, incorporating traps and decoys, there's a vast amount of builds at your fingertips with the Falconry Mastery. But alas, we can't sit here all day. So if you'd like to learn more, all the trees are accessible on the Maxroll website. Links below. The 21st is just around the corner, so don't forget to check out the 3 different versions, the Standard Edition, Deluxe Edition, and the Ultimate Edition you can purchase on the Steam store, which all include the Golden Guppy. Have a great one. Soxy Rabbit bouncing off. Boing, boing.